Hello, hello. Yeah, wonderful.
Just disconnect this. But what I'll do is actually share this with the outside world. Maybe you have to introduce what we're doing here, Michael.
Wonderful.
Orientates myself. These are all people online. Yeah, definitely people online. They can hear us well.
Yeah, what a joy to start here. Yeah, Philip and I, we want to start this conference a little bit with the help of a good friend of the company, with the help of our dearest Dennis Rudolph. Dennis is a media artist, and he admires maybe a German artist who might be the beginning of the next level, the beginning of the metaverse, which one could say started maybe with Richard Wagner. Richard Wagner in Bayreuth kind of had the idea of the immersive artwork. And he was sponsored by the Bavarian King Ludwig, and everybody in my home in Bavaria was scared that Bavaria will get bankrupt because they invested so much money in art. But the investment in art, at the end, they were a super good investment. And so we're going to have a look on meaningful attention, also with the music of Wagner. We're going to hear the Götterdämmerung, we're going to hear Tristan, we're going to hear Siegfried's Idyll. And I'm starting here right now in the middle, here in this X. I try to position myself here in the middle of the X. This is an augmented reality presentation, so I could go into the presentation, and the X where I'm in the middle should be, well, this magical moment of attention somehow, which could be also coined experience. You and I, we experience something. We are here, we're in the middle of something. Depending on your scientific background, your faith, you might call that, like German neurophilosopher Metzinger called it, the phenomenal Holon, the points where everything is coming together. You could call it the heart, you could call it nothing, whatever it is, but in the middle of us, there is us. There is this point of experience. And when I say us, I want to add an important finding, also supported by current neuropsychology. This, what we are, this us, is already something social. So it opens up, it has connections with others. My dearest colleague, Lisa, she was reading on the train, and she enlightened me that we are the only species in the world who have the white on the eyes. We are the only species with the white on the eyes because we could see where the others are looking. If we wear sunglasses, we can't see it. But if we don't have sunglasses, we could see where the others are looking. So this moment of the experience where we are is already a social moment. And this is the moment of attention, the moment of attention. And how could we get closer to this moment of attention? Well, from the I-square perspective, we first of all would see this kind of, which we call the system zero, or the perception. So there are the senses, all the things we see. We could measure them quite well with eye tracking, with other devices, all these media which are coming. We tend to call the system zero. What we see, like if you look out, you could also see that. There's another level we could also measure. We tend to call it the system one, following Kahneman. When I was at Yale, Mazarin Banashi called it the implicit. So there's a fast emotional reaction to all the things, tended to call the system one. And up there, we have also the system one, which is about the thinking and all the things. So we combine here in this model these three levels of the system zero, the system one, and up the system two, which is about thinking. And if we want to understand this X, we got to combine all these things. If we add from that perspective, kind of the perspective of psychoanalysis, which might help us to go through the kind of forces behind us and the relation to the forces, we could see here the desire. This is the point of the desire. And back in the desire, as Jacques Lacan would put it out, there is this moment, le désir de l'autre. Le désir de l'autre. The desire, one would say, is the desire of the other. If you reflect on this sentence, it shows you how complicated the things of human beings are. So we not only desire what we desire, but we desire of the other. If you invite somebody for a dinner, you want him to be pleased by the dinner. You just not only want to be yourself happy with what you're eating, but you want the other one to be happy. It's the same with making love. That's kind of the positive side is that might be a reason why you can't buy love. And that's also a reason why it is a little bit complicated, because it's not only your desire, you also want to be the other to be happy within the love relation. So the desire is the desire of the other, Jacques Lacan says. And where is this desire where is it projecting to? The desire is projecting to the real. And what is the real? Let us try to find the real in this model. Now we are here at the real. What is real? I mean, this is a very, very big question. What is really real? And to say it very easy in the terminology of Lacan, real is, I mean, if you have a partner, if you're married, the question is, if you come home from that conference, will your partner be there or will he not be there? That's real. So real is the connection with the others. This is the real thing. And these real things today, through great media, go through different things. So we have on the one thing now with expanding media, something which we call the total connectivity. Everything has data. The beer glasses will have data soon. Everything produces data. These data are then connected with other devices. For instance, with new extended realities, we will see maybe glasses, we will see even bigger screen, we will see smaller screens. So we have extended realities. And we have this big thing, which is called artificial intelligence. I don't want to go into the debate whether that is connected with intelligence or not, but it's big mathematics, it's big deep learning. So all these data are connected and new streams are formulated. Like all these little people you see here, they are coming from augmented, they are coming from artificial intelligence. They are just made up by the artists in a very, very fast way. And within this model, we try to understand with the recent studies, how would people react to these new worlds of the metaverse, of the AI, of these upcoming technologies. And we kind of come up with four, we call them states, with 4 levels. The first level we see down here. The first level is connected with a turmoil. So we have a big turmoil. We have here down, this is a big turmoil. We have here in the model, this is a big turmoil. And in the turmoil, people are aroused by technology. They get a big arousal. It is like we hear in Wagner, in the Götterdämmerung, this upcoming arousal. And people get something from media, but they are so close to the media that they are either extremely aroused or they are extremely aggressive. And this is a state of early technology state you have. If things don't work, you get angry and things like that. And this arousal is very close to the system zero. There's not a big distance to the level of perception. And after this big arousal, which also is a bodily state, a little bit like addiction, you go up to the next state. And the next state is the paralysis. It's kind of the opposite of the arousal. And then you go up in this state of the paralysis, where the arousal suddenly goes down and you are like in Tristan. You might know the Tristan accord. You don't know whether it is moll or dur. You don't know whether you're happy or not happy, but you are in the media for a long time, in a long paralysis. And here people we've seen that in the Corona time, people were on their screens. They were maybe a little bit depressive. Maybe their depression also had some happiness. So it was a big paralysis people had. And here we see that symbol of the paralysis. And if we add more of the system to more cognition, if you get a distance from the system zero level, you go up high on the hyperstrength, which is up here. And this hyperstrength is the Valkyrenritt. This is a very strong mode. The hyperstrength means that you could control technology. You have an understanding of that. That's like the big dream of the Silicon Valley, a paranoid state where people, for instance, like Ray Kurzweil, might really believe that they might live forever through technologies. I mean, we all see him kind of aging, but he's completely in this hyperstrength. So his cognition is pretty separated from the system zero level, and that's his hyperstrength. And the hyperstrength is alpha and beta. Alpha means to control everything, and beta to be really anti. These are the people who go to the woods, like who don't like technology at all. And this is the big hyperstrength. And then hyperstrength is followed also by something which, at least in psychoanalytical terminology, might be called also problematic: normality. Normality is something where the feelings are kind of changed a little bit. Normality means everything is a little bit relative. You can't get everything. You have to be relatively adapted to your environment. And this is then the new normality state, the state which we hear in Lohengrin from Richard Wagner. And we summarize these four states in our qualitative studies. And well, what's the remedy for these states? The remedy for these states is, in a way, the meaningful attention in the middle. And Philip will talk about that, could bring, for instance, beauty to the system zero. It could bring to the system one something true, and it could bring to the system two also positivity and good feelings. And that would be the remedy of the meaningful attention. And we wanted to show you this also in this augmented reality presentation with the system zero, the system one, the system two, these four states we've seen, and how the meaningful attention could bring maybe beauty, silence, and it might bring compassion, mercy, and goodness. And thanks so much for following this presentation. As always, I might end with a little song. Vor der Maschine sind sie alle gleich. Keiner ist arm, keiner ist reich. She has eyes, but she can see. She isn't a human being. Madame et Messieurs, pour l'attention.
Thank you. Thank you so much.